All right, let's talk about mastering your data. Today, we're going to break down the 3 most essential SQL commands that let you create, change, and remove information in pretty much any database out there. Let's jump right in.
Have you ever stopped to think about that? You know, when you open an app and it greets you by name or a game remembers your all-time high score? How does it actually do that? Where does that information live?
Well, the secret is a database. You can think of it like a giant, perfectly organized digital brain. And the language that we use to talk to that brain is called SQL. By the time we're done here, you're going to know the 3 most important words in that entire language.
So first things first, how do we even get data into this brain to begin with? Well, that's where our first command comes in. Let's talk about the power of insert.
The insert command has one job, and it does it really well. It adds a new row of information, or what we call a record. It's just like opening up a spreadsheet for a class list and adding a brand new student on a fresh line. Simple as that.
And the command itself looks way less scary than you might think. It's almost like a sentence. You just say insert into, then you name the table you want to put data in this case, our students table, and then you list the values you want to add. You just have to make sure they're in the right order.
So, let's start with a blank slate. Here's our students table. You can see it has columns for an ID, a name, and an age, but there's nothing in it. It's totally empty, just waiting for us to bring some data to life.
Okay, so this is the exact line of code we're going to run. We're telling the database, hey, insert into the students table the following values, the number 1 for the ID, the name Rahul, and the age 22.
And boom, just like that, it's done. Our table isn't empty anymore. We've created our very first record. Rahul is now officially in our database. See? That's the power of insert. Pretty cool, right?
But, things change. People have birthdays, addresses change. Data is almost never static. And that's where our second command comes into play, the precision tool we call update. Yeah, the real world doesn't stand still, and our data can't either. The update command is our go-to tool for keeping things accurate. It lets us dive into a record that already exists and tweak a specific piece of information.
So let's go back to our new student Rahul. Right now, our database says he's 22. But let's say a year goes by. He has a birthday, and now that information is out of date. We need to fix it. And here's exactly how we do it. We say update the students table and set the age to be 23. Now, this last part is the most important part of the entire command, the where clause. Where ID equals 1 is our targeting system. It's like a surgical scalpel that tells the database, only change the record for the student with that specific ID.
And here's the result. Perfect. Rahul's age is now 23 exactly as it should be. No one else was affected. This precision is what makes updates so useful, but it's also what can make it incredibly dangerous. Okay, I really need you to pay close attention right now, because there is one common mistake with the update command that can lead to an absolute total disaster. It is the number 1 thing every developer learns to fear.
So what do you think happens if we're in a rush and we write our command, but we forget that tiny, all-important where clause? We're telling the database to update the students and set their age to 25, but we never told it which student. So what does it do? This. It does this. It updates every single record. Without the where clause to tell it where to go, it just assumes you mean everybody. Suddenly, Rahul is 25, Amit is 25, every single student in the entire database is now 25. This is how you corrupt your entire dataset in one keystroke.
And that brings us to our third and final essential command. And it carries the exact same serious warning. Sometimes we need to remove data. And for that, we use the delete command. And trust me, you have to respect its finality.
A safe, proper delete command should look very familiar. You say delete from the students table, and then, you guessed it, you use that incredibly important where clause to target exactly which record you want to get rid of. Here, we're targeting only the student with ID 1.
And just like update, if you forget that where clause, if you just say delete from students, you are telling the database to delete everything, the entire table, wiped clean, and there is no undo button. It is gone for good.
Now you should also know about delete's more aggressive cousin, truncate. The biggest difference? Truncate doesn't even let you use a where clause. Its only purpose in life is to empty an entire table as fast as possible. Think of delete as the scalpel and truncate as the bulldozer. Much faster, but zero precision. So after hearing all those scary warnings about update and delete, you're probably asking, how do I make sure I never, ever make that catastrophic mistake? Well, there is a golden rule, a pro tip that you should treat like law.
It's a really simple 3-step safety check. Before you ever run a dangerous update or delete, you first write a select query using the exact same where clause. Step 2, you run that select and you look at the results. Does it show you only the records you mean to change or delete? If, and only if, the answer is yes, then you move to step 3, and you confidently run your original command. This one habit will save you. Every time.
And that's really it. Insert, update, and delete. These are the 3 fundamental commands that build, shape, and maintain the data that runs our digital world. You now hold the keys to the data kingdom. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build? And more importantly, how are you going to protect it?